Good afternoon, racing fans, and welcome back to the channel, proudly sponsored by Oddschecker. Okay, so we are back again with another episode, and for this episode, we're actually going to be taking a bit of a review at all of the Christmas racing, taking a look at each of the highlighted races from the festive period, dissecting a few of those, and then seeing how that has shaped the markets, were the guys impressed, were they not, and see if they got any fancies then for from some of these runners for Cheltenham. Now, before we go on to introduce the two wingmen, just a reminder, as our loyal viewers, you can join Oddschecker Unlimited with 20% off using the link in the description below and then entering code GJOE20. Now, what that gets you, you get access to my selections before they get made live anywhere else. You also get my golf selections every single week. You get Andy Holding selections. You'll get a free share in a racehorse via Racing Club. You'll get the Road to Cheltenham preview. You'll get loads of different content, loads of extra bits and pieces. As I said, it's completely optional, but we do have a link for you to join with the link in the description below. Boys, how are you? It's been a very merry Christmas. You've had some brilliant racing. Scotty, have you enjoyed yourself? Did you enjoy the racing too?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I have enjoyed it. It's been a long haul. It feels feels like it's been going on a while, but yeah, I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm just going to probably take a step back now after the weekend at Nace, and yeah, still looking forward to the rest of the season. Can't wait for March.
Good stuff, mate. It was like woke up on New Year's Day, sort of expecting like a Boxing Day extravaganza racing, and it was quite, I wouldn't say depressing, but it was a little bit underwhelming looking at some of the cards, wasn't it? After sort of
Yeah,
having some good racing, like you know. But anyway, Irish brother Jamie, how are you?
Grand. So looking forward now to the next couple of weeks and roll on the Dublin Race Festival.
Well, we got 4 weeks.
4 weeks
4 weeks
on
now.
Saturday, isn't it? 4 weeks on Saturday. Yeah.
4 weeks
No,
Saturday.
yeah,
Friday, is
four
it?
weeks Saturday. Yeah, four
Right,
weeks
you'll be
Friday.
there the Saturday morning, won't you? Yeah, of course, of course. Right then. So, lads, we've got so much to go through. Of course, we have some top performances. What I'm going to ask for you at the end of the episode as well is doesn't even have to be the best performance of the Christmas period. It could be your favorite one or two, whatever. Just sort of maybe a highlight or two from the Christmas period. But we'll go through all of the races one by one and get your thoughts on the way. And then finally, thank you to everyone that is tuning in. We really do appreciate the support. The views are going up, the subscribers are going up. And look, we're just really, really grateful that you're enjoying the content. We're trying to make it the best watching experience for you as well. I'm going to try and timestamp this episode because I do appreciate we like to talk a little bit. We do go on. So if you can look at the times below, we'll try and sort of get sections going for you as we go through the episode. Right, I'm already waffling. We're going to start off on Boxing Day. We'll look at Aintree first, where we had the Formby Novices Hurdle, the Grade 1, over 2 miles and 1 furlong. Potters Charm was actually sent off the even money favourite. He got the job done in pretty good style. Beat Miami Magic. We had a couple of disappointments in the race, but particularly with Celtic Dino, I was really sweet on his chance over Christmas, and he was very lackluster, I must say. But I think they knew his fate quite far out. They had him nicely settled. Then halfway round, they took him right to the front of the field. I think that sort of told us they weren't very happy with him even mid race. But Potter's Charm was really impressive despite the drop back in trip. Let's start with Scotty this time, shall we? What did you think of Potter's Charm, Scotty? And does he have a chance now at Cheltenham anywhere?
you have to be impressed. I just after the what we've managed to see because of the fog. Um, when he reappeared, he obviously had a lot of toe, a lot of speed. I didn't think he potentially had. Put the race to bed pretty quickly. Um, yeah, Celtic Dino was disappointing. I was on him as well. We spoke about him quite a lot in the preview for Christmas, but I do question whether the form of the race will work out to be pretty strong in the long run. Um, I do think it all links back to the October meeting and the showcase meeting. Like you got the likes of Roadless Travelled, all the form ties in with the likes of Val Grand and all of those horses who haven't performed. Maybe
Yeah.
they are running for handicap marks, but I wouldn't be overly sold on Potter's Charm for the race. I know he's going to go for the 2.5 race, the Turners at the festival. I'd be probably more keen on something else in the race. I think he's won his Grade 1 this year, and I do think that's the best we've probably seen of him. Um, so going forward, I think the only horse to take out of the race could be Country Mile for something like the County Hurdle, which was given a very tactical rise, shall we say. But yeah, you have to say Potters won it well. But going forward, I would be opposing him wherever he goes in the big festivals.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was well supported as well, wasn't he? I must say I didn't fancy him at all for the day. I thought the drop back and trip wasn't going to be ideal for him, but I guess in hindsight, the fact that Connections decided to run um
Regent Stroll, wasn't it?
Regent Stroll in the Shallow Hurdle. I think we should have maybe taken notice of that, and the money did come for him. Jamie, were you impressed with Potter's charm, or how did you feel about the race?
I was impressed. Right, Joe did the step back and trip, but what has he beaten? Very
Sure.
disappointing. Celtic Dino, road less travelled, disappointed. But as you said, the one check out. See, the way to look at Potter's charm, obviously, Valgrand, they're just keep running him to get his handicap marked down. And Minute 6 was beaten by Big Westerner. Minute 6 was in beaten by Potter's Charm in the showcase meeting, then went on to finish 4.5 lengths behind Big Westerner. So that's not too bad for him because Minute 6 is definitely a Martin Pipe horse for that connection. So they just want the runner there. But it's country mile for me to take out because now I think he's nearly qualified, isn't he, for the Campsie? Maybe one more run or something like that. He was never put into the race, Joe. But for what we could see, But I think they're just trying to mop up as many great races as they can with Potter's Charm because I wouldn't have him for the Cheltenham at all. No.
Yeah, that's like me. I mean, I must admit, I've probably got him slightly wrong because I'd have actually before the race rather had him go up in trip. But like you said, he had a little bit of toe as well. But look, he's a lively contender, and it's nice for us to have a half decent horse certainly coming from this side of the water anyway. It's going to be taken on the Irish. Okay, we move on to the 120 at Kempton. We have the Cato Start Novices Chase over 3 miles. The Jukebox Man got this done at 4-6, beating Highland, who has only actually won going left-handed, who Scotty likes for a race in the future. But look, there were a lot of question marks about the Jukebox Man. His jumping out to the left, despite obviously going right-handed this time at Kempton, but he was arrow straight this time. Jamie, we'll stick with you. Hard not to be impressed, I guess, wasn't it, with him?
Well, I suppose so. With the way you look at it, is that he's going to be Britain's number one hope, and there ain't much coming behind him.
Sure, sure.
To be honest with you, he was impressive. Obviously, Scotty in the previous video put up Highland for the Ultima, so hopefully Highland does the job in the Ultima for Scotty, and then people might plow into the jukebox man. There's still a lot of water under the bridge to come, like Ballyburn's going to come in out to 3 miler, Dancing City, um, with Springwell Bay, the form of Frank yesterday, with like Django Bay. Sorry, excuse me, Django Bay would be another one. Yeah, to jump in
Yeah,
there,
of course, of
definitely.
course.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot about him. Sorry. Better Days at Croke Park. Do you know what I mean? Champ Kiley yesterday. Do you know what I mean? He's going to have a lot of competition, but the way to look at it, he was second in the Albert Barrett last year, and this is back on the old track. Maybe just give him a bit of rope. He might go out in front maybe this time, go back to the tactics of the Albert Barrett, and you might not be able to catch him.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, if was I would I back him out 6-1 for the Browns? No,
Feels a
just
bit
think
skinny, doesn't it? Does feel a
it's
little.
very skinny, very skinny. Yeah, yeah, but he's a decent horse, and you can't crib what he's done so far.
Yeah, brilliant jumper as well. That's what will keep him hard to beat, essentially. Like you said, he's probably going to go from the front. And he was essentially an unlucky loser in the Albert Bartlett, really. He got
He
chipped
was.
in the line, didn't he? It was heartbreak if you've seen the videos of Ben Pauling going wild in the with Harry Redknapp in the paddock. Scotty, the jukebox man, are you with him or against him for Cheltenham? I'm sure you were impressed with him, obviously, in the Cato Star.
It was hard not to be impressed. I thought his jumping was very good. He seemed to be very efficient. He was I expected him to jump a bit kind of like right, and I think he jumped like really, really well.
Hmm.
Going forward, again, look, we've already mentioned Highland, who I think is the one to take out for a handicap, which I put up for the Ultima behind him. So I'm hoping the form works out pretty well. But
Yeah,
I'm I'm looking at the Browns market. I wouldn't back him now at sixes. On the day, I'd be happy to take maybe a bit of sixes, presuming that nothing else really develops from the race. I do think the biggest danger to him from the UK could be Django Bay, but there is still the opportunity for him to run in a handicap. But I think they're going to send Highland to the Ultima and Django Bay will run in the Browns. But if I'm putting all of the performances together from what I've seen in the Ante-Post market for all the Browns, I think Ballyburn has a bit to prove now. I know maybe he didn't run up to his form when he was second to Sergino, but the jukebox man's got the speed, he's got the accurate jumping, and then you look at who's going to be against him in the Browns. I think Dancing City, I do like him, but I don't think he's got enough speed, which I still think you need to win the Browns.
I agree.
You've got
I
the
agree.
likes of Champ Kylie, who, okay, is it going to be a bit of an uphill task for him to get really right for that race after such a long layoff? The only other one that I've actually backed against him for the Browns, I've backed Dancing City. I'm not going to back the jukebox man now, but I think Croke Park just keeps winning. He just keeps doing enough. I think he's shown a bit of speed when he won the Drinmore. If him and the Jukebox Man were kind of in that race together and the Jukebox Man was making the running, I'd fancy Croke Park to maybe jump alongside him and maybe outstay him and beat him. That's the way I'm looking at it at the moment for the market. So no, I wouldn't be with the Jukebox Man just yet. I think 6-1 is a bit too short.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Like you said, his jumping's really good. Croke Park, definitely a similar sort of type of horse. Just keeps proving really hard to beat, doesn't he? But we'll come on to those races in a little while. Obviously, we're going to have a look at better days ahead. Croke Park from their run over at Christmas too. Right, let's move on to the Christmas hurdle, the grade 1 over 2 miles. And we were served up an absolute treat here with Constitution Hill, Lossiemouth, Burdett Road, and Lump Sum, the Welsh champion hurdle winner back and forth. I mean, look, Constitution Hill, he won by 2.5 lengths here from Lossie, who was out on her feet early on in the race. Scotty, we're going to stick with you. We'll go sort of back and forth like this. Give us your thoughts on Constitution Hill. Don't hold back. It's all a game of opinions. I know a lot of people get a bit touchy when when we talk about sort of Constitution Hill online. But look, I mean, you gotta say it how you see it. What did you think of him? And will he come on for the run, or is what we see what we now get?
I thought he was brilliant, if I'm being honest. I thought he showed sparks of his old ability. He showed more than sparks. He showed that he's still good enough. And a lot of people are saying Willie's horses weren't performing around that time of Christmas with like State Man, Lossy Mouth, maybe not running up to their marks,
Yeah.
but he still had to give her £7. And she came in a fit mare. She obviously didn't. Maybe she did perform up to her best. I know she was running a bit kind of keen at the back. She didn't settle. She arguably didn't jump as well as she has done, but maybe she's just better over further. And just her ability got her as close to Constitution Hill.
Interesting.
Um,
Interesting. Yeah.
so I know Nico came off after the race and he said that Constitution Hill took a good blow between the final two hurdles. And for me, a horse that's actually blown away cobwebs in the middle of a race like that and still had to come off the bridle for the first time and real fight for that finish, I think he was absolutely
Mm.
superb. And I think he will come on for the run. And come March, I would not be in a million years taking him on like as a layer. I think there is one that we'll talk about later that I think could beat him potentially, but as a layer, I would be scared to take him on. And I was really impressed. And I think the only slight thing I do worry about is Lossie Mouth's won at 2 Cheltenham Festival. She's won a Triumph hurdle where the form's not worked out at all. She's won a mare's hurdle where she beat Tell Me Something Girl, albeit very impressively. It's the best horse she's beaten, just Tiapu. Is that really good enough for her to be a champion hurdle winner? I don't think so. Can she reverse the form of Constitution Hill? Possibly, but it wouldn't be for me. I think he's definitely back to his almost his best, and I wouldn't be taking him on in March.
Yeah, that's a really interesting case you made for him there, actually, because like you said, he took a blow, and like you said, interesting what you said about Lossiemouth over the trip. Is that just the best she is over 2 miles, and she's actually better over a longer trip? That sort of got me thinking a little bit there too. Jamie, were you as impressed with Con as Scotty was?
Uh, I was, I suppose. I put it that way, with you.
Say it how
Um,
you see it. Say it how you see it.
got the run of the race. She was a little bit exactly what Scotty said. She was a little bit tap for toe, and you said a tap for toe to start. She's a bit of like out of her comfort zone, which is a huge worry. But that was good ground at Kempton. It's softer ground. It's going to be softer ground at Cheltenham. I think 7-1 on her is still massive. Where are they going to 7-1? Some bookmakers. The thing is, if you watch back to Hatton's Grace, and a lot of people haven't alluded to this, and even if you watch the time she won the Grade 3 juvenile at Fairy House as well, the same day as Hatton's Grace Day, she hangs. She's better going left-handed. She hangs right-handed, right? And she still finished 2.5 lengths behind him, hanging, and was outpaced at the start. I still think she's still has a massive chance in the champion hurdle and to beating And to be honest with you, I'm going to make a huge bold statement here. I think it's between the two mares in the champion hurdle,
Wow.
not Constitutional. I'd be really worried about Constitutional on softer ground. As you said, he's had problems, colic, the whole lot. I'd be worried about his finishing kick. But the other side of it is that King of Kingsfield, now we all know now, if she goes champion hurdle, King of Kingsfield is going to be the pacemaker. The way he won the Supreme, it was off a fast pace that time. So it's what can he do it like he did in the Supreme off a fast pace is what I'm in my head, spiraling around in my head. Can he do? I don't think he can.
Yeah.
I really don't. Look, it's great to see him back. Fantastic. I suppose looking at Autumn, he's still the best jumper. But there's something in my head that's saying that, yeah, that was his day. And, you know, I might be talking crap on him, but 8-11, no, I wouldn't touch him at 8-11. Still wouldn't touch him at odds on. He should be 6-4. He shouldn't be 8-11.
Yeah, I mean, Jake, I'm with you. Everything when you say you say, "Oh, I might be talking like nonsense." I'm with you though, because, like you said, for all she did wrong, she still closed the gap at the end to 2.5 lengths. And
I think it's going to be very hard for him on soft ground, so to give those two mares £7 if they go rattling good quickly. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely.
It's just in the back of my head. No, you know him. The way he won the Supreme was rapidly fasting up by 22 legs. Is he there like he was that? No, he's not. He's not. He's not.
No,
But look, he's a star, and we need stars in the game. So look, he could prove us all wrong and destroy the two mares, but he'd really want to be up to his brilliant best.
yeah, absolutely. And just to clarify for anyone who goes wild in the comments saying we're talking rubbish about Con. Look, we want him to be at his very best. We want the Constitution Hill that beats State Man in the champion hurdle, because we want to see all of the horses run to their best and then fight it all out at Cheltenham. But I'm with you, James. I just still have that niggling down. Look, I hold my hands up. I was completely wrong in our preview for Christmas. Like, I gave him next to no hope. I couldn't see a world where he'd had all of these wind ups, the layoff, this colic, and that it had taken nothing out of his ability. I thought it was sure to have done some sort of damage to his class. I mean, look, he's entitled to come on for the run like anyone else, but the fact that Lossiemouth closed, just like you, James, I got a little bit of a niggling doubt about it. Don't think I'm going to be having a bet in the race. I'm not a massive person for multiples, as you all know. I'd rather lump on one and do a few doubles and things nearer the time. But you wouldn't want to be relying on him for your multiples anyway with the issues, would you? So, but look, let's hope he continues to improve, gets back to his best, and let's hope the two mares take him on at Cheltenham as well, because I really want to see that. Because I think they're both pretty exceptional, to be honest, certainly in recent years. Right. Lads, we've gone to the 2:30. We've got the King George V chase. Disappointing favourite was Spillan's Tower. Ile France looked like he was going to get the business done going off in front, but it turned out to be Banbridge that managed to close the gap and ended up winning just shy of 2 lengths in the end. James, I'm sure you found the third very eye-catching there as well, Long Presse. Anyone who's been watching our show knows what race James fancies Long Presse for. But talk to me about the front two first, James. In fact, you had this exactly spot on, didn't you? You said Lille France was going to go from the front. You said that might then set up for Banbridge, and I mean, look, you got this absolutely spot on, to say the least.
Yeah, I was delighted, Joe. Happy. Should have done a bloody TriCast, shouldn't I?
Yeah, exactly,
Do you know what I mean? Not being smart, but no. Yeah, I could just see that happen. That the French horse would be given too much rope.
Yeah,
it just proves with the French horse now that he needs better ground instead of running around 3 miles around Oddschecker and mud baths. I see someone here in the race. I don't know what his name is. I saw her earlier there this morning trying to sleep. There's some fella put him up for non-running, no market for a champion chase. No, I can't have LA France for a champion chase.
You can't have him for the champion chase. You can't have him for the Gold Cup. It's plain and simple. There's one race or none, isn't there, for him?
It's the Ryanair, yeah. And like any bit of decent ground, even a bit of soft ground, like take a hard horse to catch him in a Ryanair. If he gets a soft lead like he did in the King George. But look,
Alaho style, couldn't they?
Yeah. And what is he now? 12 to 1, or was it 10? 12? He's obviously lower than that now, probably. I won't put anyone off if you get a non-runner, no bet price in him for a Ryanair. Put it that way, Joe. Banbridge to me I still think Banbridge will go in the champion chase. I really do.
Interesting.
I know this is from 3 back to 2, but he's proven it 2 miles. Um, Maybe the new track doesn't suit him in the Ryanair. I wouldn't be backing him for a Ryanair. You saw that last year. Maybe he might skip Cheltenham. Maybe Cheltenham was not his bag, but he did win on good ground in his Navis season at Cheltenham on the old course. So, but he's really is ground dependent. You can see he is ground dependent. And
Yeah.
if it's soft at Cheltenham, I think they'll just skip it this time. Long press, great run, especially on the ground. Surely Vinicius sees now that it's not good enough to win a Gold Cup.
Mhm.
So if it's soft ground Ryanair and give him a bit of rope and no LA France, lovely. I'm happy. The real whacker, no man's land. Spillane Towers, a Ryanair horse, not a Gold Cup horse. She was proving that now again. Where he goes next is very interesting. He's definitely a horse to look out for. Corbett's Cross. Would people get give up on this horse today? He's just going to go in the Grand National. Number 1 is the Grand National. He doesn't jump good enough, Joe, at speed. He needs a slow pace and then to use his pace at the end. That's what he has.
What about like something for like this, like the Stayers Hurdle? I heard Road to Cheltenham talking about it, and I thought, oh, it made
But
sense to
like,
me then, you
go
know?
back, go back at the Albert Bartlett. Even if they went quick in that Albert Bartlett and they crawl, come and stay away Faye one. Like, look at Stay Away Faye now. Look at Aphrodite Fury. Look at Sandra Clegg ran well in the Christmas hurdle at Leopardstown. But I mean, like, no, Brave Men's Game. Like, come on, like, who tipped this? Like, we're not even going to go down that road. Like, people tipping Brave Men's Game as well. He's gone at the game. And Vialan was unlucky to unsee. Grey Dawning. Where'd you go with it now? I think maybe a Ryanair. Maybe he's not good enough for a Gold Cup.
They've got to be regretting that Betfair Chase run now with
Yeah, there.
happening.
So it's an interesting race going forward, Joe. But it's the screens of a lot of Ryanair horses, to be honest
Yeah,
with you,
yeah.
and a couple of champion chasers. That's it. Runners. That's about it. Because most of these horses need better ground. But if you want to take out for going forward, I hope LA France runs in a Ryanair, even though I'm harping on about
Sure,
LA
sure.
France. Yeah, either or LA France, I'm pressed to keep one step. Plans Tower maybe as well, but I'm going on now. But
Scotty, do you share the same views there as Jamie? Like he said, there are sort of three there that could well be. I mean, like you said, it looks like they'd all have really good chances in a Ryanair. I mean, how did you see the race? And what did you think of Grey Dawning as well at the back this time? Not showing his best really. He's surely better than that, but difficult for him
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Grey Dawning was disappointing, wasn't he? I just like I said in the preview the other day. I think the Betfair Chase has obviously left a mark on horses. Capodanno ran at Tremorne, ran no race. He was in the Betfair Chase. It's a very difficult race. I mean, Brave Man's Game showed again. He's gone at the game anyway, like Jamie said, but he ran no race in the King George. I love the Ryanair for the King George the King George is the best trial for the Ryanair. Horses in previous years like Alberta's Run, Riverside Theatre, Dinast, Votor, Envoy Allen all ran in the King George and then went and won the Ryanair in the same season. So yeah, I totally agree with Jamie. I think his long press shout is good. Um, but it won't beat Jello.
Will they run both? Will they run both? And who will
I
Dawson
think
pick?
I think Venetia likes handicaps. I don't think Long Press definitely won't run in the handicap. Jello's too good a horse and too high a mark to run in the plate. He'll be top weight in that, so he will run in the Ryanair as well. And I think Charlie Deutsch would ride Jello over Long Press.
Ooh, interesting.
I think he'd choose him. But I
boo
still
shout,
I
boo
still think Long
shout.
Press will run in the Gold Cup. I don't think he'll run in the Ryanair. I think she'll put him in the
Right.
Gold Cup. Andy Edwards, the owner, he's a very stubborn owner, I think, and
Yeah, yeah.
very sporting man, but I think he wants a Gold Cup. I know he's had a chance in it before. I don't think he'll run in the Ryanair. But no, I disagree with Jamie on Banbridge. I think he'll go in the bowl race at Aintree. I think he'll skip Cheltenham altogether. I think that's his next big chance for a Grade One. Nice bit of ground at Aintree and Spillan's Tower. I was all over him for the King George. I was disappointed. He almost as if the course didn't quite suit him. He was taking off his feet. He didn't get into a good jumping rhythm. I just think he's very ground dependent. I think the softer ground definitely plays into his hands. So, but yeah, I was very impressed with Banbridge and fair play to Jamie. He got the race spot on. So fair play. That was some shout. And going forward, I wouldn't touch LA France for any race other than the King George again next year potentially. But yeah, you have to say fair play to Banbridge. And if a horse ever deserved it, fair play to him. It was him.
Some Christmas period for Joseph O'Brien as well. He had Solness in Home by the Lee, who we'll obviously come on to in a little while. But yeah, fair play, Jamie. Like you said, if the first three are the three you mentioned, and the TriCast paid
But
£435, so
for 35 pounds,
don't to
yeah.
make you feel sick or anything
If
like
you if you look at the race, actually, it's ended up going to be like a big field, like because they know some of the horses are not even
yeah.
going to good enough for a Gold Cup. But this, I'm going to quash this now straight away for people. Two things, right? If you look at the first three in the betting, right, Bamber's now the favourite, right, for the Ryanair won't run. Back to fight. I'm like, what people? No, we know Back to fight will be a shoe in for a Ryanair, right? If he runs, but he's not going to run the Ryanair. He's going to run
He
the
is.
Gold Cup.
He is, James. I'm telling you, he is.
Not a hope in hell.
I really
He'll
believe.
get much. He'll get much closer to Gallop in the shop in a couple of weeks' time, by the way. And Gaelic Warrior won't run in it either. So then all of a sudden, a horse that hasn't run in 2.5 miles for ages is El Fabiolo's the favourite. And LA Ted Thomas hasn't been seen all year. So you're getting value down the field for LA France, Spillane Tower, Jello, and I'm pressed. So I won't put any of what we've mentioned.
Do you
You
reckon
know what
now
I mean?
that LA France ran so well that they would now sort of consider coming over
I think they will, yeah. I think that
prestige,
surely,
isn't it? I know there's a lot of money in France, but the
I know,
prestige,
yeah, but
the
they
amount of
surely
prestige.
realise that this ruins the bloody horse.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know what I mean? Like, leave him alone. Let him come over here because he seems to jump fantastically well.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah,
Brilliant jumper, and just leave him go. And they like you know, like I'd say there'd be a full moon, and we'd all die happy men if we ever saw go grounded bloody all time.
sure, sure.
So do you know what I mean? Every time there's something wrong, it's he's bleeding at that track. So keep him away from him. Bring him over here.
Yeah, just let him go
They
out and
have
do
the
his
money.
thing.
Bring
Yeah,
him
exactly.
over.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like, look, he's won the likes of the King George and other big races now as well. So it's not like his value would ever sort of deteriorate.
No,
He's it'd just be a great addition, wouldn't it? Really sort of spice up the race a little bit. And like you said, looking down the market as well, I've just got it up here. Ilite Tom, not going to go here. If I don't even know if they're going to have him back in time, are they? That's the case. Rather than him not going there, this would be his race.
but people tipping him, Joe, as well. Like that horse, you could see he doesn't like Cheltenham. He's
Yeah,
a
100%.
flat track horse.
This is my problem with the champion with the Arkle form from last year with Founder 50 and Ilite Tom behind it. We'll go on to that one actually. We'll hold on fire. No, hold on fire. Right. But anyway, really good performance there from Banbridge. Really did show that he is a top class horse and could be pretty much anything from there going forward. Right, let's go over to Leopardstown in the 12 o'clock. We had a lovely maiden hurdle. We won't look at Cowabunga too much, but Copet de Borg, Copet de Board pretty much ran through every single hurdle. Shows a huge engine. We're going to stick with Jamie here because I know you said you like him for the Supreme. There's a lot of people on Twitter suggesting that he could be a Turner's horse, but make your case.
I think he's a supreme horse because I don't think he can get away with that over the further trip, and then he'll be legless coming around the bend
Hmm.
in a Turners. They have plenty other horses for the Turners. I mean, like they've Jasmine DeVoe, they've Kate Doughty, right? Do you know what I mean? So there's plenty of water under the bridge yet. I know they have Kelly Espoir. They have a horse that no one's been mentioning who was very impressive. I think it was at Punchestown one day. I think did he win that day? We were there. Was it Punchestown? It was Punchestown, Joe. Iransi. There's another one who
Oh yeah,
nobody has mentioned who was very impressive.
got that Will the Wise, didn't he?
Will Devise, the old Will Devise has a prank to form. So you have to see Iransi at the Dublin Race Festival. But yeah, I think he just screams of a bit of a classical dream. Put him out in front, champagne fever. The engine's there. You can see it. I'm like, he had no right to win that race. I thought he was done.
Hmm.
But then he pulled out more. Oh yeah, I think they have better. They still have horses for it, but you're playing Willie Bingo, and Willie Bingo is a road to the poorhouse, unfortunately. But
Getting harder
to
and harder
me,
with bingo now. It's getting harder and harder that game.
Salvatore Mundi. Look, the problem with Salvatore Mundi is that he's obviously very hard to train, right? And the other side of it as well is that he might need a flat track. And people are hanging their legs on that because he was behind Sergino. I'm like, come on, sometimes, horses improve and
Of
disimprove.
course. Yeah.
Like people, like how is he still trying to favour for the Supreme? We haven't seen some Tipperary last May. It's crazy. If you put a gun to my head, Joe, we'll go through it. But if you put me in a match now, we see Romeo Cudi is not going to go to the DRF. If you put, I know he's a grade one of Romeo Cudi. If you put Romeo Cudi against Kopek to board, I'd back Kopek to board all day.
Interesting. Interesting.
That's a little lot.
I know they've got the 2 mile maiden hurdle at Clonmel soon, haven't they? And Salvatore Monday hasn't even got an entry there as well. I'd say we're far too close now to the Cheltenham Festival to be considering backing him, especially at his price at the minute, like you said as well.
The only other thing is that is the Moscow Flare. Like, is if you don't see him in the Moscow Flare, you're in trouble.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, fair enough. Any opinion on Kopek the boards there, Scotty?
I'm just literally what Jamie said. I think I'd like him over 2 miles. I'd like to see him bounce out and make the running. And I'm not necessarily worried about his jumping yet. Obviously, Jasmine DeVoe didn't jump very well in his maiden hurdle. Still got the job done. And these top novices, Willie gets them primed for the big day. We've seen it with Sir Gerhard a few years ago when he won the Ballymore. He didn't jump well at all up until the festival, and he pinged every single hurdle that day in the soft ground. Um, I do think Jamie's right. I think a bit of a Ballyburn performance, hopefully at the DRF, he'll get him out over the 2 miles, go quick and press the button, and it will be see you later. And it will be. I do think he's going to have horses for the Turners this year. I don't think he had any last year. That's why Ballyburn ran there and he put Mystical Power in the Supreme. I do think Jasmine DeVoe's his Turners horse. And is it Kate Doughty? Is that how you pronounce it? I think that will go up to 2.5. So I think he's got the Supreme pretty much in his grasp already. I've been looking at the market for the past 3 or 4 days. I think Salvador Mundy's got problems. I wouldn't touch him even if he turned up, and I don't think he's been entered in the Moscow Flyer coming up either. I think the preliminaries were out today, or was it the Munster Hurdle? I don't know. It's the same race nowadays.
That was a Munster hurdle, yeah, Munster to Clonmel, where the
Clonmel.
Moscow's at Punchestown.
Moscow's at Punchestown. So yeah, I think he was rumoured to have an entry for the Munster up at Clonmel, and he hasn't been entered today. So that again tells me that not all's well with him. So yeah, I'm a big Kopek de Board fan. I was really sold by his performance, and I'd like to see him make the running and go at the DRF over that 2 mile race as well.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'd do with Kopek at the moment. I understand why people are saying that he could be a 2.5 miler because he looks like he would just stay all day. But again, sometimes these good horses do just stay. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're better going up in trip. I think one we forgot to mention for 2 miles is Calistoir. I love this horse by Masked Marvel. He had that French form, then come over and won in pretty decent style. And the fact that he quickened up off a quick pace was quite a taking piece of work in my opinion too. But Willie Bingo's getting harder and harder this year. He's getting more and more horses on his side as well. So trying to sort of narrow down which are going to go where, or some going to skip Cheltenham is just getting more and more difficult. Right, the race after, William Money got turned over at 5-2. Redemption Day ran no sort of race. But my gosh, this was an impressive winner, wasn't it? With work ahead for Henry de Bromhead and Mike O'Connor. Hit the front, pulled clear away from it. William Money, who's a speed horse, had no answers for him, to be fair. God, hard not to be impressed by this guy. And what I will say as well, before he made his return, he made his hurdles debut on his penultimate start. I think he finished third, didn't he, that day? He hadn't ran in his point to point for over 600 days. Came out and did that, ran a reasonable race, and then took a huge step forward to do what he did here at Leopardstown. This is potentially a monstrous performance by Work Ahead. We don't know how good he's going to turn out to be. We don't know how good this form is going to turn out to be, but he ticked all the right boxes for the visuals and could be something pretty damn special. Scotty, what do you think?
Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? I did like William Money. I've been a fan of his because of you.
Yeah.
He put him away with some ease, to be fair. And
Yeah.
the form of, again, going back to that maiden hurdle with Jasmine DeVoe has obviously worked out really well with the Enabler, who won as well, who was, I think, second the last day ahead of Work Ahead. So I actually think Work Ahead, I would love to see him go up to the Albert Bartlett at 3 miles. I just think he's screams a stayer. He's just got so much speed, and I love 2 mile maiden and novice hurdlers stepping up to 3 miles eventually in the long run. I think we've seen the Nice Guy. He's one that fits a similar profile years ago. Started off on a short trip, ended up winning an Albert Bartlett. I think he could be a stayer, and I think potentially he could run in the Albert Bartlett this year. And again, Connections really do like the race. I think they ran a couple of horses in it down the years. The likes of Manila Endo won it for them. Mona Lee ran in it and I think finished second the year that I think it was Penn Hill won the race. So that's something that I'm looking at, and I'd like to see him running the Nathaniel and Lacey at the DRF over 2 miles 6, I think it is. That would be a nice little race, I think, for him.
Yeah, interesting, interesting. And he beat some good horses as well. 7 lengths ahead of William Money. Then he was 13 lengths on top of the seven to Spring T de la Mer. A further 5.5 to Redemption Day. Jacob's Ladder. Jamie looked pretty impressive, this fella, didn't he? Like,
It was very impressive. But yeah, I'm with Scotty here. I want to see him up in trip.
okay.
I don't think he could. What's putting me off him, Joe? Look, it's fantastic. It's a horse that I really like. He's Frank de Forman and it's Jasmine DeVoe. But the other side of that is that I know what you're saying. William Money's a speed horse and he couldn't keep up on, which is it's kind of weird because they did like from the naked eye didn't go that quick, but the time wasn't that bad. So do you know what I mean? And I was trying to work it back from Redemption Day, thinking that Redemption Day needs a fast pace. Like he got a good enough pace from
Yeah,
Market, and he
yeah.
just didn't settle. So I was kind of disappointed there. But that's Redemption Day. You come out now tomorrow and be a fast horse again. It's just one of those things. But I wouldn't be touching him for Cheltenham. Obviously, the interesting one is obviously we've been chatting about this Jor Mask, who was fourth in that race. So do you know what I mean? Handicap lot there, but would I be back in Markhead for a Supreme? No, but I'd be interested in up and trip longer, yeah, because he could just use his 2 mile pace in a longer race. Yeah, I agree with Scotty there, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. We'll give a little bit of a shout out to Jack there for Azure Mask. And anyone who doesn't know, Jack from Racing Interest has found possibly the plot of the century. If you go and drop him a message on Twitter, I'm sure he'll fill you in with all the details. Right, we'll look at one more for Boxing Day, and that comes at Limerick. This was my bet of the Christmas period in the Land Rover Novices Hurdle, the Grade 2 over, well, just shy of 3 miles. And the Big Westerner, my gosh, do I love this mare. She's a big, beautiful beast. Half sister, all full sister to Stay Away Faye. Beat Mozzie's sister, Manila 6-0. And halfway round, you could see that she was taking this race. She was traveling like an absolute dream. Dara Keefe, as we kept mentioning on our podcast, insisted he go over to ride this mare. She just pulled her way through the gap. He had to sort of even remove his goggles. They got caught at one point. You can watch him and he's trying to get them over his cap and everything. So everything even went wrong from the jockey perspective. He just sat there nicely on the bridle. He gave her a little squeeze of his knees and off she went. The further they went, the better she went. But she travelled so well. Now look, I'm not often a fan of backing mares when they come up against geldings, but she's now been installed as the favourite for the Albert Bartlett. Don't think we've ever had a winner of the Albert Bartlett that's actually been a mare, but she's going to go there and get a £7 allowance. And I'll tell you what, she's going to take the world of beating this mare. She's beautiful, a really big, strong travelling sort. She's really slick over her hurdles as well, which I like. She does very little wrong. I suppose she's got to go and do it left-handed. That could be the tiny question, but she jumped straight as a die, so seems to be no worries there. But God, we thought she was going to go off at like 5-4. She went from 9-2 into 5-4, 11-8. Ended up going off 7-4 and hosing her easy as you like. I was deeply impressed with this man. I'm going to be watching her closely throughout the season. And again, I wouldn't put anyone off backing her for the Bartlett, despite being fully aware that it's going to be real hard to find a mare beating all of the Gowdins. And I'm sure we're going to see some better sorts between now and Cheltenham. Jamie, did I finish you just then? Yes, I did. What did you think? I know you were obviously sweet on her too.
He was impressive, I would say. She looks a really good, rattling good mare, Joe. But as I say, it's the nagging doubt that she is a mare in an Albert Bartlett, which is such a grueling race. Um, she will travel in the race. My problem is where will she find as much as what she showed at Limerick? Look, it's the start. It's Christmas. There obviously there's more work on there, obviously, and she's inexperienced. But yeah, but Bartlett, no, to me, to be honest, I wouldn't put anyone off backing her because I haven't got that race right in a long time. No, the nice guy was one all right, but I was more heavily invested in Ginto
Yeah,
than the nice guy. It was kind of a last minute cover bet, but
he was lovely, Ginto, bless him.
yeah, I don't know about her yet, Joe. But you
Okay.
after forgetting one race that everyone has said. Willie Diak is useless. Willie Dohel,
Ah,
don't back that anymore. Hello Neighbour was impressive, but
good.
Lady Veilig Alain was closing. But Gavin Cromwell horse will obviously improve. But I think I was more impressed with the one with Ritchie the last day with Sat Lucci. I think that's a very good horse. It'll
Yeah,
take a good Hello Neighbour, be a good horse to give her £7 at the Dublin Racing
yeah,
Festival.
very true. We'll come on to her actually in a little while. We will get to that definitely. But I was the same as you. I was more impressed with St. Lucci than I was Hello
Yeah,
Neighbour. Just not sure. He looks like a bit
I
of the Burgering type nearly horse, perhaps.
Hello Neighbour won't get up the hill at Cheltenham.
Yeah, I don't. Hmm. Yeah, a bit
It's
on
an
the
extra furlong, I think. But look, he'll be warm order favourite, won't he, for the race car Geeseman next year?
yeah, called the Spring Juvenile, like sort of the DRF. Sure. Right, we'll leave that at the Boxing Day. Then we'll go on to the 27th because we've got loads to get through. So thanks everyone that is tuning in. Again, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be brilliant. Nietzsche has actually won at Chepstow. Shame we're not going to see him again. He's still got his tackle intact, so he's going to be sent off to stud. But Jesus, he was mightily impressive. Any opinion on the Welsh national or what we could see of it? Because I couldn't even see anything. Move on.
No.
Fine. Let's go straight over to Kempton then, and we'll take a look at the Wayward Lad Novices Hurdle, the Grade 2. Now, this was obviously very impressive. Sergino at 8-13 managed to beat Ballyburn by 7.5 lengths, and the two outsiders were way behind. Um, Scotty, what do you think of Sergino? How are you weighing this one up? It's pretty difficult, isn't it? Do we get sucked into recency bias and at the time just thought this was stupendous? Is he that far clear of Majborough in the pocket? Because the ratings say he is, but how literally can we take that when Ballyburn didn't really jump that well, you know?
Um,
I'm not
there's
trying
two
to crap
sides
on
to
the
that.
performance, by the way. I'm just trying to be
No,
detailed, you know?
there's two sides to that argument. I mean, Ballyburn didn't jump great, but Sergino took two fences to realise what he was actually doing. But it's just how quick he adapted to it, and that's what impressed me the most. He he's got, I think, a rating of 164 for a beginner after one chase start. That's champion chase winning like rating. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. If he ran in the champion chase this year, he'd win it, I think. I'm being honest, I just think that's how good he is. I think he's going to be the best horse in training this time next year. We'll all be talking about him as the next big Nicky Henderson superstar, which he already is. And there's only one horse I think potentially in training at the moment that could give him a race in the Arkle, and that's Majborough. I think Majborough will win on the weekend, and it will set up a nice clash. But hopefully Majborough does win well because I'll be getting a better price than Sergino, hopefully. And it's probably one of the only short price favourites at the festival that I'd be willing to really get stuck into. But I just do think that the only thing with Ballyburn, as everyone knows, he's not a two miler. He cannot stay over the trip. He has to go up in trip. And that's the only thing that may flatter the performance. But my God, a lot of people have wrote him off as well. Coming into the season as an open hurdler, he's done it in the Fighting Fifth. He did it now as a 2 mile novice chaser. Could win two Grade Ones. I think how many horses have won a Grade One over fences and over hurdles in the same season? There can't be that many.
Couldn't even tell you. Couldn't even tell you.
Can't remember. But yeah, mighty impressed. I'm not going to say any more. I thought he was just brilliant.
Jamie.
Top class performance, Joe. He's beating a really good horse as well, to be honest with you. There's certain people there that say Ballyburn doesn't jump well enough. He's obviously going to jump better, or going a tad slower in a Brown. My problem with Ballyburn would he be a bit keen, but he did look keen the last day, even with the Sergino race. So
Hmm.
I cribbed that. But 4-1 now to find out if he's a 3 miler or not for Cheltenham is a bit of a joke, really. I see people like cribbing the form of last year's novices hurdles, and maybe that's coming in as well. Um, were
But he
they a good
beat he
bunch?
beat them easy as he liked though, didn't he? To be
He
fair to
beat them
him,
all, yeah. He
he can
beat them
only
all.
do what he did. Like it's just
Exactly. Look, he's going to be the favourite regardless for the Browns now. Um, where he goes next, I don't know. I don't think he'll go to the Dublin Race Festival for the 2.5 miler, to be honest with you. He might.
that was going to be my
Uh,
question to you. That was going to be my question.
yeah, he
You wrote
might. But I think they should see him if he's any good at 3 miles. So for me, I'd be looking at a 10 up at Navan, maybe over 3 miles, see if he is a 3 miler. But might ruin him, really doesn't really go with that anymore, it ruins him. So most likely he'll probably run the Dublin Race Festival. Then they'll have a lot of runners in that. But look, he's done it before. Gaelic or in fact to make a difference. So be interested to see where he goes next. But Sergino we want Marsborough obviously to win at Naas on Sunday if it's on. I mean, you want to see the clash of last year's 4-year-old crop and their mind scare of everyone else
Yeah,
and
yeah.
forget about the rest. To say at this stage of his career he's better than Sprinter Sackers, a bold shout by British handicapper, but mm, uh, it'll take a very good one to beat him.
Yeah, I mean, longevity's got to come into it when you talk about horses being better than others, haven't you? He's still a novice at the moment. Sprinter
Yeah.
Saka went on to do it in top open company and came back off the injuries and just looked stupendous, didn't he? Would you back him at the moment, 10 to 11 for the Arco?
No,
Is it a good price, bad price, or just not worth getting involved with for the time being?
A good price, but you've got 2.5 months to wait.
Yeah, for
yeah.
even for worse than even.
He'd be like if Marsborough wins impressively. Like they're going to bookies. Like there's no way he'd be odds on if Marsborough is a very impressive race again.
Or
Sorry,
what,
on the day, you're good. Like the bookies are going to take him on the day.
if Madgeborough wins impressively this weekend, what do they go? 5 to 4, 7 to 4, the pair.
No,
Yeah.
What do
no,
you
I'd be more 11 to 10 Sergino, 3 to 1 Madgeborough.
You think? Yeah, I think he's about 4 to 1 now. Best price is he?
4 to 1. Then put him to 5 to 2, 2 to 1.
Yeah, I don't think they'll want to go anywhere near even having him as a muggy each way.
No. They get
Even
rid of all that.
cool, fine, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, look, I was dead impressed with Sergino. Just again, I've made myself look silly all season with this one. I've been a big cribber, if you like, of sending these 4-year-olds chasing. Thinking it's too soon for a lot of them. I've always felt like they need more time to develop, but Madgeborough and Sergino have just put me to rights there, really. And I suppose if they're ready, send them because these two have looked exceptional. I hope obviously Madgeborough wins the Lawlers of Nate. The Novices Chase, the Racing Post Novices Chase at the weekend. But if you want to obviously see our review on that, we do have a preview already. Right, we'll go to Leopardstown. Again, we're just going through this as we see it. We'll look at the Paddy Rewards Club Chase. Solness, a surprise winner. Another grade 1 for the Christmas period for Joseph O'Brien. Beat Gaelic Warrior by 3.5 lengths. And then a further half a length to Marine National, and they were clear of the remainder. Jamie, let's go with you. Your favourite in here, Gaelic Warrior, who doesn't win the champion chase this year. What did you think of
Oh. Um, Terrible ride by Patrick Munnins, Joe. It's as simple as that. He had him out wide. Like Gaelic Warrior is a up the paint horse going left-handed, and he had him out wide. No, he jumped not too bad for a Gaelic Warrior around Leopardstown.
good
But
ground as well? Good to yield
good
in.
ground is the thing. Like he's not a 2 miler on good ground. He's a 2.5 miler on good ground. I will say that. Savills has stole it from the front, and he was fit and he loved the ground, and they just gave him too much rope. He's rapidly improving, but I think he just come on a soft grade 1 there and forget about him. He won't win anything else. But he had his day in the sun. Regardless of the champion chase, it goes back to the old theory. If it's better ground, John Bomb wins, and if it's softer ground, Gaelic Warrior wins. You know what I mean? And that's where my money will lay on the day. But I obviously back Gaelic Warrior to win the champion chase. Cheltenham Festivals don't go good ground anymore, so softer if it rains on top. Gaelic Warrior will beat Nergamine will set it up for Gaelic Warrior, and Gaelic Warrior will win. Yeah.
I couldn't see too
But
much of his jumping in.
John Bond will go on soft ground, obviously, but it's just Gaelic Warrior is just a better horse than soft ground.
He didn't jump too far out to his right this time, did he, Gaelic?
No.
Maybe
Maybe they were just teaching him again some, do you know what I mean, another way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
He still ran well for
He
first
did.
time out.
He did. Again, like you said, especially on this ground going left-handed, which isn't ideal if you want to put all the ticks on paper sort of thing. Marie National jumps a lot better. He is learning. I'm not saying he's going to go and win the champion chase. He's got to improve a fair amount to go and do that. He got picked up in the end by Gaelic Warrior, who wasn't on his preferred ground, and Marine, to be fair to him, did have his preferred ground. He's finding his feet again. I tell you, he jumped very, very well this time. First time Sean Flanagan had sat on him as well. He could come on for it too, but very unlikely to get his ground nonetheless. Scotty, what did you make of the club chase?
I was under the impression Gaelic Warrior has to go up and trip. I think he was taking a bit off his feet. I know Jamie mentions the ground with him, but I think they've wasted so many years with Min trying to win a champion chase. He has to go to the Ryanair. I think if he goes in that, regardless of the ground, I think he'll be the likely winner. I mean, I think the new course as well. I know he's won on the old course at Cheltenham. I think the new course won't be any problem to him. I think it will give him a chance to settle, get into a jumping rhythm. So I wouldn't be massively sold now on Gaelic for the champion chase. I'd say Marine Nationale ran an absolute cracker. I think he showed a bit of old spark there, but I think you've said it yourself. I don't think he's quite quick enough over fences to be competing at the top level over 2 miles.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to be honest. I've had a few quid at a big price on Solness for the champion chase. I said to you earlier today. I just think I think he's improving. I think he's up to like 158 now. I don't think he's too far off being a champion chase horse. And again, if we get a softer, heavy festival, I think he's got a good chance. I mean, if he goes into that race, the likes of John Bond, he'll have to jump really well to keep up with him. He obviously won't get his own way, but what's going to take him on in the race? I mean, Gaelic Warrior will be ridden handy. I don't think there's a lot of pace in the champion chase potentially this year aside an Ergeman, but I'd fancy Solness to run a big race in the champion chase. I've got a sneaky feeling he's a bit of a dark horse, and I like him over 2 miles. They've wasted a bit of time with him. I think they ran him in like the Galway Plate, I think, or a race at Galway over 2.6. I think he ran in that race. Um, so I think the Tingle Creek you can throw out the window. I put a line through that. I think he was obviously a lot better this day. Maybe he's just better going left-handed. So I do like Solness. I've taken a swing at him at 55s on the exchange for the champion chase, and I think you can get worse prices out there for the race in March. And he's already beaten Banbridge earlier in the season, albeit over a shorter trip. Banbridge won the King George. He's beaten Captain Guinness a couple of times now. So if anyone's tipping Captain Guinness each way, then I'm allowed to tip Solness each way for the champion chase.
I like how you've got you've had to defend yourself there. I like that. You're like, if anyone's allowed, so am I. And he also he only went down by Nectar found a 50 as well. I mean, it's no mug form that, you know. He's a good horse in his own right too.
I did notice that, and I do think Founder 50 is better over a longer trip now. I think they've got it wrong with him, and I think they were going to keep him fresh. But I think they've seen the opportunity in the division. I think they thought that it's a bit easier than they thought it would be this time of year. But
Hmm.
yeah, not going to waste much time talking about Founder 50. But I do think it's he's got some good form, Solness.
And we do get a bit guilty of looking at the price. Obviously, he went off at 28 to one for the last day, and then sort of say, oh well, something must have happened for the reason for him to win this race. But again, the market is a guide to what we all thought before the race. You know, it's not a guide to what we thought after the race. So he could well be better than what we've seen. And again, he's well entitled now to be in the champion chase picture. The Paddy Power Future Champions Novice Hurdle. Romeo Coolio ran out a 9 length winner here. I was chuffed to see that for him because I think he's a lovely horse and going to be a bit of a fan favourite, I think, as we go on and when he goes chasing and things like that. And I know a lot of people are saying he's a 2.5 miler. I think he is in time, but I'd be more than happy to keep him over 2 miles for this season. And look, he's put his credentials on the line a few times now. He's had a couple of good wins. He also got beat, obviously, by Tunes of Eight, which does hurt when you look at the form book. Obviously, when Jamie mentioned the other day, obviously, he got beaten the handicap hurdle, didn't he? But he's a good horse, Romeo Coolio. He travels really well. He jumps well. He is going to have to be ridden prominently if he goes for a Supreme, but he's not going to be an easy horse to catch because although he looks like he's going to go up in trip at some point, he does seem to find plenty too. Scotty, did you like the performance? Obviously, he beat your boy Blur de Vassy here, but again, look, Romeo's a good horse and Blur de Vassy beat the rest of the field still.
Yeah, there's no excuses. You have to give it to Romeo Coolio. He's stepped up on his run from Fairy House. Um, Again, is he just better going left-handed than right-handed? Possibly. I don't think he got it his own way. I think he won the race himself. I was disappointed with Blair Devassi, but still ran a good race. I'm still not sure Romeo Coolio is high, as in top 3 or 4 on the pecking order in the 2 mile novice division. I still think Willie's got horses that are better than him. Um, but for me, the horse to take out of the race altogether is Carafon, the Manure and Suede horse. He was given no hope put into that race whatsoever. He was just ridden quietly, just wherever he goes at the DRF or any handicap after February, I'll be backing him wherever he goes. But no, fair play, Romeo Coolio. I'd say he deserved the win there, and yeah, there's no excuses really for Bledavassi.
Yeah, I think Romeo's well deserved of his place at the front of the market in the Supreme myself. It's easy for us to look at all these Mullins horses, but they've still got to get to this level that Romeo's already proven now. Jamie?
I'm with you, Joe. I think people might have got it right that he looks like Blue the Vest. He looks like they need further and might be better off in the Turners. To be honest with you, I think he would because I think he'll show the speed off a slower pace than in some of the horses. Do you know what I mean? But he obviously does have the back form with Jasmine DeVoe and and he was impressive. And I think they got the tactics wrong, and
Mm.
I thought in the Royal Bond. So I think they've learned from that. And I agree with Scotty. And I think I said it in the preview of Christmas. That I think he'd be better going left-handed, and it just proved that he is. And they were just better, and he was just better on the day. Apparently now he's going straight there. Ugh, I don't know. I suppose he's had 3 runs, and they're happy and go and see. But there's going to be a lot of more horses to see before the Supreme. So look,
Yeah,
if you're on at a big price when he was at the start, was he 20s, 25s, and in around those places. If you're on that slip, fair play to you. Would I be backing him for the Spring? And I really fancied him last year for the bumper. No.
fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I got 12-1. Then he went out to 20s. I think he's back in a little bit shorter now. But like you said about them happy to put him away now until Cheltenham, it's hard to suss him out as a punter on the back of that. But you got to think, I suppose they've seen him win from the front. They tried different tactics at the Royal Bond, and he got found out, and then they were prominent again here, and then he won again. So I think they're like, okay, well, we've got to the bottom of him. We're going to ride him prominently and try and use him to kick on. You can imagine him coming around the home turn at Cheltenham, and then they say, right, let him go now, and let's see if
See
anyone
what
can.
he has under the bonnet.
Yeah. Okay, over at Limerick, we had the Dawn Run Mares Novices Chase, the Grade 2. I absolutely love this mare. This is people are giving me a bit of stick saying if your biggest bet so far is in the Mares Chase and you're going to be waiting that long, then you could be worried if you don't have any winners before. But I thought she was absolutely superb. Good traveller, good jumper. She went clear towards sort of 2 out. She was travelling best the whole way round. And this was her first run from a long, long, long time off the field. She beat Pagan. She could be anything. Was a horse that looked to have great potential. People were sort of touting her for a mare's chase in the each way places. But bioluminescence, my gosh, she's going to come on a ton for this run. And I don't think she's as ground dependent as people are making out to be. This was yielding to soft. So you got good to soft, soft in places, basically. And she travelled all over them. Fitness wasn't even an issue for her. I think she'll come on plenty for it. And I keep saying as well, in these mares divisions, especially over fences, you seem to have them have one good season and then they tail off a little bit. Look at Dino Blue. She almost looks like she's got a wind issue now, could do with a wind dot. Limerick Lay, she had a really good year last season. Have a few things sort of got in her way now with that attempt at the Grand National, then the Betfair Chase. She was then beaten again subsequently since. Didn't look the same mare to me. You have a look in the bet and you got Halka de Taba, RIP, shouldn't even be in the betting. Only by night, it looks like she's going to be staying over 2 miles against the Gowdins. 12-1 for bioluminescence for Cheltenham is just a cracking bet. I can see her genuinely going off 2-1 favourite on the day. I think she'll have one more spin and then go straight to Cheltenham. We're going to have the soft ground regardless when it gets to Friday at Cheltenham. I'm very, very sweet on bioluminescence chances. I love this performance. Jamie, we'll stick with you.
Yeah, I said it in the Christmas preview that I really like this horse. She's really
Good,
good.
good.
She's a monster of a horse. I should back up on what I say and that I'd be backing her for Shetland, but I haven't backed her for Shetland yet. But she's still 12-1 because if you look down the list, like Dino Blue, no. Impervious hasn't been seen in Cheltenham for nearly what? Hasn't been seen in 20 months more. Allegory Devassi being the enigma that she is. I look at her yesterday. But the like exactly what you said, Joe. Limerick Lace now is Teddy's ahead of her year. I always said ahead of her year. Grand National, Betfair Chase, just ruined her. Um, I'm still with um only by night, yeah. Still, till I see it up and trip, obviously I'll be happy. I understand what you're saying. She might go the 2 mile route, but I think they'll have to go Mayor's Chase route because they have absolutely no chance in an Arkle. The year it is, do you know what I mean? It's not a put the kettle on Arkle.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
a top class Arkle this time. Johnny, a bright sitting around at Doncaster. People are writing that horse off, and that could be a thing because she had a great year last year as well. But I thought she ran well enough at Doncaster after she had a setback. But I'd be backing her now for Cheltenham because she was on a crest of a wave like Limerick Lace last year. I
Mm,
would.
mm.
So I'm looking at the types of like only by night, by Essence, and the other horse I've mentioned in this division. Two really are. You have to wait to see where Langtree Lady is, who ran well last year in the Mayor's Hurdle. I think it
She
was Langtree.
she she's running at Nace
The
on the
weekend. There is a
yeah,
Mayor's Chase, the very first race, isn't there? Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There is.
yeah.
Um, and the other one I'd mention is Spindleberry for Willie Mullins,
Yeah, you
one of
mentioned
Cork.
her you said you've mentioned the name before.
So they're the four I'm looking at the moment, Joe. I would be shocked if any other one of those four don't win the marriage test. Put it that way.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I mean, look, they're all Gavin Cromwell as well. He's got a sort of
You know,
split,
Kevin Cromwell. Yeah.
hasn't he? Like, just a couple of quick mentions on the same day. Percival Lagawa finally got his big day in the sun. All the fog at Leopardstown. Ennis Kerry, a nice winner for Barry on the same day as well. We won't go into Percival Lagawa. Broke my heart at DRF. Broke yours as well. Broke everyone's everywhere else. But look, Percival Lagawa, good winner at Leopardstown for once. Ennis Kerry for Barry Connell. Jamie, over at Weatherby, you had a nice winner with Harper's Brook. You put him up as one of sort of the bets of the Christmas period. Brilliant, wasn't it? Like, pretty decent ride. Just a quick word, I guess, on him.
You said, look, it's a horse that needs to be planted on the line. It was a great, great ride. Was it Keelan Woods? Was it Keelan Woods? I don't know. I don't know who it was. Whoever gave him the ride anyway,
It
because
would
I
have
was
been.
roaring at home and I said, what did, and I was saying, what is the jockey doing? And all of a sudden, planted on the line. Thanks very much. It was a good day. I had not a bad day on the 27th, to be honest, Joe. Not going
Big
mad, but
West dinner as well. So
yeah. So not too bad, yeah. Can't complain.
cool. Right, we will go on to the 28th now. We'll go straight to Leopardstown. Kay Doty. Unfortunately beat yours here, Sir Manzarek, but he sort of ran no sort of race. Probably want to put a line through that one. But Kay Doty, like, drifted from very short price out to 7-2 and won like a proper galloper. He's one for me. I don't think he's got as much speed as our buddy Sean was sort of suggesting. I think he is a 2.5 miler. Could see him dropping back a trip, I guess. But Jamie,
Yeah,
this
I
was
don't know what to make him because I mean, like they really fancied that the Bramhead horse and they thought it was really good. But the only thing, if you watch it back, and I watched it back actually last night at work, that the only thing I will take Kate off, he's like co-picked the board in a way. He's not a great jumper.
yeah, yeah.
The only thing with Kate Doughty is that Mark Walsh didn't touch him. Didn't use the persuader, didn't have to get busy on him or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
And I, at the start, when I watched it first live, I thought, he's no good. You know, in my head, I couldn't be having him now. Right. It looks like he was tying up, but no, he's good. He is good. And
Yeah.
that is the same race that Ballyburn won last year as well. Um, yeah, I'll wait till the Dublin Race Festival to make my mind up on him. I think he'll go against Kopek de Board in the Dublin Race Festival and see who's the better horse. Then they'll know who's going where.
And they'll send one Supreme, one to the
Yeah,
turn.
yeah, 100%. But the only thing is they could both go because the thing is Mark Walsh rides JP's horses, so it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter if they're trained by Willie Mullins. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Oh, if they have one for this, one for that, one for that, one for that, it doesn't matter.
They're
So I
gonna
think
have a few
we'll
in each
find out.
race.
Yeah, I think we'll find out in some race with Kopek board against Doughty. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Live, he didn't impress me, but watching it back, he did.
I might go and watch it back myself then, because I was the same. I randomly had a pound free bet from Ladbrokes. I thought, I'll try some crazy roll up, and I picked 4 winners to go with him for the Supreme, and now I've got a wedge coming back if Kate Doughty wins, basically for free. Thank you very much, Ladbrokes, if he goes to the Supreme. Scotty, what did you think of Kate Doughty?
I didn't. The jury's out for me, to be honest. I don't know if there's too much I can take from the race apart from I'd like to see him again. I,
Mhm.
he's a bit of an unusual kind of on the breeding line. Yeah, I think the side doesn't produce many top national hunt horses. I think he started his 3-year-old career. He raced in, I think he was behind Madgeborough, beating 6 lengths at O'Toy, wasn't he? I think just over a year and a bit ago. So he's obviously got a decent pedigree, but there's not a lot I can add, to be honest, Ginge. I'd like to see him again, but I don't know kind of what they have in mind for him. I don't know if he's a 2 miler or a 2.5 horse. Um, yeah, jury's out for me a little bit. I haven't got a lot to add, to be honest.
He's by Schwar de Nord. I think he's the same as Jericho de Repene as well, who sort of got sort of a bit
Mm,
fouled up quite early on, which a little bit
yeah,
ropey.
okay.
But I think they've got Hartwood as well, so he's half decent too. But yeah, I'm the same. Not sure what to make of K Doty, but again, I've got a random pound free bet going rolled up on him. So who knows? Right, we've got the Savills Hurdle, the Grade 1, home by the lead. This was impressive, fellas, wasn't it? Like he seemed like he'd learned plenty. Will it be his 4th attempt now at the Stairs Hurdle if he goes there, 3rd or 4th, something like that? Scotty, we'll stick with you this time. Put away Bob Ollinger. Don't know what I think of Home by the Lid. I've never taken to him, but it was a good performance. It was professional. He He jumped well, and he found a turn of foot. Like, he did kick on for home at the end of a pretty, a decently run 3 mile race. So is he a
He
contender
just
for third as well?
he can't win the stairs. He's just a classic. Again, he does what he always does, and he's off the bridle about 6 furlongs from home. You think he's beaten, he just flies up the running. I just think he's a hard horse to get right, to be honest. And I think they've placed him really well. Joseph, I think, has got a great bit of placing again. But I just think he's beaten a load of rubbish in behind, if I'm being honest. Disrespectful to Bob Ollinger because he is a good horse, or he was a good horse, but he
Yeah.
doesn't stay 3 miles. He's not a stayer. 2 mile three, 2 mile four is his race. And you've got a load of kind of failed chasers in there like Beacon Edge, Asturian, Fallon, Sandor, Clegane. Hewitt's obviously a decent enough horse, but he's getting on in age now. I just think it was a great piece of placing and fair play to the horse. I never get him right. Every time I back him, he doesn't win, and every time I take him on, he seems to hack up. So um, I don't think he's got a chance in the stayers going forward. I just think it was great placing by Joseph, who obviously had his horses in prime shape over Christmas, didn't he? With I think 3 or 4 Grade One winners. So
Yeah, he might not really like Cheltenham as well. That could be a possible issue for him too. Jamie?
Yeah, ditto what Scotty said, to be honest with you, Joe. He just wins a bit crap behind him. Look, I know I tipped Hewitt, but Hewitt, I don't know what happened. Like, he set nice fractions and he just didn't, I don't know what happened to him. He just fell out the back of the teddy, to be honest. I don't know what happened. No, home by the leads, no chance in the stairs. Could he be placed because it's not that great? Maybe. Do you know what I mean? It's not that great. Just a quick mention there, I was saying to you there the last day, with the race with Croke Park winning and better days ahead.
I missed it,
Um,
didn't I? I'll go back to it.
no, you're fine. No, because I could have done it. I'd have done it. If you look back at last year's Albert Bart and the way he stayed, beating the jukebox man, he can't jump a fence. Stellar story now. I think we'll go back hurling. No, might
Ooh,
not, but like stairs hurl,
yeah.
there's nobody in it, bar Yuku, in my opinion, at the moment. So you could have a stellar story go back into stairs hurl after you can't jump a fence, like you out through fences
Yeah.
in the Leopardstown. So that could be a nice each way punch for you there. I'll get the price in a minute. But yeah, home by the lead. Look, Bob Oninger just is an anti hurdle horse, and that's about it. Like travel way. Like it traveled best I've seen Bob Oninger travel for a long time. It just doesn't stay 3 months. So they want to give up and that goes, don't
Yeah, that's fair enough, Jay. I'm just having a look at the stayers hurdle market because that is some shot, especially with Croke Park winning obviously a grade one now. Um, he is not even in the betting for the stayers hurdle at the minute. As soon as he gets any form of mention, he could be worth a little bit of a look then, couldn't he, in that sense? Because you're probably going to get good.
Definitely,
Well,
definitely no. He probably has no chance. But look, if he's a huge price with a weak division, and they say, look, he's not a great, he can't jump fences. If you got 33 to want him to be placed in the bloody stairs, you take a bit of one check after when he won an Albert
yeah,
Bartlett.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, I'd give him a squeak. Now, again, only since you mentioned it, it's not something I decided on my own, but I see no
No,
problem.
he's not in the betting. No, he's not in the betting.
Not even down there at all, sort of thing.
No.
Better Days Ahead didn't quite get the better of Croke Park, but Croke Park's just hard to pass. But I put a Better Days Ahead a while ago for Ante-Post for the Brown Advisory. I'm still quite keen on him before the race because I know he didn't get to Croke Park and we didn't get to see the full race, but he's got that little bit of speed at the finish. I don't think Croke Park will have it as easy being for horses not being able to pass him when it gets to Cheltenham. He's a good horse. Better Days Ahead. Any other views on him at all, lads?
I think he's better over 2.5 myself. I just think the race he should have been going for in March is not there for him anymore, personally. But
Fair enough, James.
Paul Park is personally more and more. He will be hard to pass, but I always think there will be a day that someone will pass him, and I wouldn't be backing him at Cheltenham now.
Yeah, I'm still keen on Better Days Ahead. I think he finishes well, and obviously he's got that win from the Martin Pipe. Definitely wouldn't put anyone off. But just a quick word on Croke Park. He was highly touted last season. Didn't show his best form over hurdles. He was always going to be better over fences. But I think some people have been a little bit silly writing him off. Of course, he won that Drinmore really well from Firefox and Hartwood. That form's pretty solid. He's now won at Leopardstown with a grade one. Good horse, good horse. Right, the Savills Chase, the reigning champion, Galopin de Champs. Like, this was mega impressive. Now, he loves Leopardstown, and he put in a massive performance from the front. He took a breather. He then quickened away again off it. None of his rivals had an absolute no chance. It was stupendous. This was, and I know we briefly mentioned it earlier. For me, you have to bring Factor File back to the Ryanair. I don't think he stays this far. I also think he's too keen for a Gold Cup. For me, he gets back in the Ryanair. People are saying it would then be a shoe-in. Although I'm saying they should get him back in the Ryanair, I don't think that'd be a case. I think he'd have a harder job beating more horses in the Ryanair. He is not a Gold Cup horse. I think that's been proven in my eyes. He's a 2.5 miler. Um, maybe he's even the King George horse for next year, but he doesn't stay past 3 miles, in my opinion. Jamie, counter argument this because you're on the side of the fact that you won't give up on him just yet, but I am fully in the camp that I can't have Factor File for a Gold Cup whatsoever. I don't see how on earth he'd be Galopin de Champ now. He's a monster.
Um, exactly what you said, Joey. He's unbeatable at Leopardstown. There's no doubt about that. Now, would I say he's unbeatable? The fact that Factor Five is going to get closer to him at the DRF, 100% he will. I just don't understand. Like, is it because it's Willie Mullins that you give a two-time Gold Cup winner, a 2 or 3 time winner around Leopardstown, that much rope in a Grade One? I'm not buying what Mark was saying afterwards. Oh, he needs to settle better. He kept up with Gaelic Warrior last year over 2.5 miles, and he was going further away at the bloody line.
Is that
I'm like,
because they
what?
is that because they just let him go though? And alternatively, is that why he'd be better doing an Alaho in the Ryanair, you know?
Mm. Well, he's not going to go for the Ryanair now. Not a hope. Not
We'll
a
have
hope.
a
He has
point
to.
on we'll have a point on this one, all right? Or we'll have a little bit of
We'll
a
have a pint. We'll have a fucking bottle of vodka and 10 cokes in it.
oh, no, I'm not
Um,
1 point or two.
yeah, we'll have a bottle of vodka. We'll have a liter bottle of vodka and 10 cokes in it.
Fine, let's
Not a
do it.
hope that you'll get your wish next year because then if he doesn't stay in the Gold Cup, then he's a shoe in next year for the
Yeah.
Ryanair. No, they'll go Gold Cup. They'll have to decide. Like, I think now JP knows it's Lance Tower can't win it, so like Factor Five is the only one, so he'll run Factor Five. Get back to my point, but Marco, oh, he needs to settle better and all this crap. No, you just give Ting too much rope. Oh, you won't go with him. Yeah, you can go with him if you really want to. Do you know what I mean? I think like they did with Fast or Slow last year in the Irish Gold Cup, now what it's called in Dublin Festival. They were finding out how we going to beat Galopin the Shop at Cheltenham, the way JJ Slevin ran Fast or Slow. And that's the way Martin Breslin trains horses.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
But the problem is now Fact Fight's in the same bloody
Camp.
training camp
Yeah, sure,
as
sure.
Galopin. But I want to see Mark Walsh take Galopin on. Do you know what I mean? Take him on and see what he has because he gets soft leads like he does
Yeah, that's
around
fair.
Leopardstown. No,
That
he
is
is
fair.
a fantastic horse, no doubt, and he has a kick at the end, and he deserves to be one of the legends of the game. But if you want to see a young horse, he's a younger horse. He's fresher legs. He's a younger horse than Galopin. Give him a go underneath. Just go,
Hmm.
hassle him, and that's what I want to see in the Irish Gold Cup. Instead of Galopin's still the best, but no one can give him a
Yeah,
rest. Yeah, because you're giving him too much rope. So that's what you want, like.
yeah, sure,
Um,
sure.
so no,
I do get
I
that
will
though. Like,
reserve
given,
judgment till after the Dublin Racing Festival. Look, Galopin probably win it, but Fact the Fight is going to get close. Put it that way.
yeah, I do get what you're saying. Like I said, I am wholeheartedly believing that he's going to go to the Ryanair now. But like you said, he's younger. Give him a chance at beating him, isn't it? Like try stretch his
Yeah.
stamina in that sort of race because he didn't necessarily get too close.
But maybe like if he goes instead of holding horseback to see if he gets the trip,
Let him go.
just let him go and see if he gets the trip.
I suppose then you'd find out straight away if he's got
We'll
that
find out
stamina as
straight
well.
away. Yeah, it'll be a good race at Leopardstown. Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait. We'll make sure we watch that one together. Well, we watch them all together when we're there anyway.
Oh,
Scotty,
is that? Oh, hold on now, Scotty. I knew he'd say this before we start. I tell you, we won't see him at all around the Dublin Festival. It'd be too popular. Oh yeah, oh, I'm
oh,
Ginger
don't
Joe.
no.
I'm
Oh,
Ginger
no.
Joe.
They come up
It's
to
like when
me.
you made missing last year from Re National. You won't go missing this time because he's no chance.
I had to hide and watch that on my own. I was shaking like a I could leave that one. No, that's great though. If anyone is watching and they do see us at the DR, please do come over. It was great fun having people sort of come over and just say hello and nice to see people that like watch the show and people were coming up to me and Scotty when we were on the plane and things like that, and then people were talking to you, Jamie, as well when we were in the bar.
He'll
Great,
be
it's great.
holding my hand this year because the amount of the horses I put up probably won't win nothing at the race festival.
It'd be good fun, but yeah, no, we love talking to anyone that comes up to us. That's what it's all about: socializing, enjoying the event. Right, Scotty, enough of Jamie's waffle. Let's talk about Galopin de Champs and Factor File. What did you think of the race and where are they both going and things like that, really?
Right. I will never ever take on Gallopin de Champ again at Leopardstown, that's for sure. I don't. I think he's unbeatable there. I think he's just unopposable. I think the one key factor you both didn't really talk about, if I'm being honest, was I don't think Factor File has the speed to be able to do that over 3 miles and the extended 3 miles. I just don't think he's quick enough or as quick as Gallopin des Champs to do it. He just won't allow him to do it. And I don't think Willie would want to mess around with tactics with both of his jockeys to say, do you know what, today we'll decide to take Gallopin on to see what happens. They
Yeah.
could both end up getting beaten, cutting each other's throats. Something stupid could happen. I don't think you fix it until it's broken, and it's definitely not broken. And I'm never opposing Gallopin ever again at Leopardstown. And I don't care what tactics they employ in Factor File. I don't think he can reverse the form. And I'm going to stick with that for both Cheltenham and for Leopardstown. And there's not a hope in hell Factor File will go to the Ryanair this year. Like Jamie said, they've worked out Spiller's Tower can't win a Gold Cup. I know the way you're thinking. Corbett's Cross, all of his novices cannot win a Gold Cup. So one of them or two of them will run in the Ryanair. Factorfile will run in the Gold Cup this year. And if he wants to go in it next year, then good luck to him. But that's the way I see it. I think it just keep it simple. One, just don't oppose Gallopin ever again at Leopardstown.
Well, I'll half my stake with Jamie then. We'll have half a bottle with you, Jamie, and half a bottle with you, Scotty. That Factor File
Half
end.
a litre.
Half a litre. Okay, fine. We'll do that. Half a litre. Right, okay. Going on to Limerick and Perry Pass. Fair play to Sean. He gave this as his sort of bet over Christmas, Sean, from the finishing line. Because he was sort of money against at one point, wasn't he? Which was crazy, especially when we knew he was going to be going to the race. And he won easily. Bit disappointed he's not going to Cheltenham. I get it. He's a bit more of a flat track sort of horse, but I'd have loved to have seen him take on either the stayers in the 3 mile division or dropping back to an Arkle. So I think he'd be in with a chance on either. Scotty, I'm going to stick with you for Imperi Pass.
Yeah, it was one of those. I expected him to win. Wasn't overly impressed. A lot of people were. It was one of those races. He did what I thought he was going to do. I wouldn't be mad to go back him for anything Ante-Post. He's probably not going to go to Cheltenham, I believe, but that's about all I've got to say. I just think he's very workmanlike. I don't think he's the best jumper I've ever seen. I think he's going to reach his kind of limits soon over fences. I don't think he's going to win open grade ones next year. I think he's a good novice. Um, Not overly sold. I don't think he beat a lot either, if I'm being honest. I think the
Yeah,
horse that Jamie loves, I'll let him talk about the horse that finished seventh in this race. We all know what they're up to there with Waterford Whispers.
Yeah.
Basically the same as I know the way you're thinking last year. Everybody knows what they're doing. And whatever race Waterford Whispers goes for at Cheltenham, I'd be backing him. But yeah, he did what he had to do, and I haven't got a lot else to say, to be honest.
okay, fair enough. And Jamie, Perry Pass, he was good, jumped well, travelled well. Is he just a flat track horse though? Is that why they're skipping Cheltenham?
Yeah.
I know he won the
No,
Ballymore, by the way, but it's completely different.
no. He's the winner of the Grade One novice chase that Spillane Tower won last year at Fairyhouse. All day long. All day long. That's his race, and exactly what Scotty says. You'd take a few out of the race, to be honest with you. But the number one horse is Waterford Whispers. Yeah, I'd be backing that in an novice handicap at Cheltenham. 2.5 miles, it's a limited race, and it only needs one more run. It'll probably run in the Dublin Racing Festival, and yeah, 100% Waterford Whispers is one for a handicap. If you've got a price on it, non-runner, no bet, no, I back it, no.
Yeah, some firms have opened up the handicap marks. I think Bet365 have, haven't they, for anyone that's got
They
them?
have, yeah. Yeah, we got a price.
Yeah, okay, fine. We'll find some way of getting having a go on Waterford Whispers. It's nice that the markets have started to open up for the handicap plots now, to be fair. Gives us an opportunity to get stuck in. Just a quick word on one whilst we're talking about these JP plot jobs. I think Sam Adjust is a good thing for the National Hunt Chase. Just go and have a look at his form. Might be a little bit obvious. I'm sure some people have sort of spotted that, but I
It's
think you can have a really
it's
good
now
time.
called Joe the Jack Richards, novice is handicap jet. Django Bay at the moment is 8-1 with Springwell Bay. Nürburgring is 10-1. Wow.
Who's favourite?
Django Bay,
Is there a price there for Sam Majestic?
12-1. But this is I presume. Yeah, I presume this is the 2.5 miler.
Okay.
Jack, I have it here on the Thursday. Jack Richards novice handicap jet.
Yeah,
I
that'd
think
be
it
the
is.
two and
Yeah.
a half miler then. Yeah. Okay.
Waterford Whispers 12-1.
We're after. If they got the National Hunt Chase bet in there, Jamie, have they? What's got you? Is it up there at all?
Tuesday. National Hunt Chase. Yeah. Sam Majest, 10-1.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I could consider
But
that.
it'd have to be under 145. Well, it'd have to be 145 or
Is it?
below.
Is it capped? Is it a capped race again?
145 or below, yeah.
Okay. I'll have another look when we finish the pod. Then I'll have a bit of a scan. We'll do a handicap episode at some point anyway. We'll just go through some handicappers we fancy. Right then, over at Newbury, and I'm going to start with this one, lads. We had the Coral Shallow Novices Hurdle. And for anyone that
When
watched
didn't go for the Coral Cup.
anyone that watched our previous podcast, I've got a decent share in Wendigo for the racing club. And he finished second to the New Lion, ran an absolute blinder. He'd been really impressive previously. He got beat on his first start of the season this year and then stayed on really nicely to win well at Ludlow, showing stamina, good turn of foot, lovely jumping performance as well. And then, of course, he's gone on now to finish second in the Grade 1 Challow Hurdle, which is one of the best novice hurdle races that you'll find in Britain, behind the deeply impressive The New Lion. Now, as far as Wendigo goes, I mean, look, he travelled very, very nicely. He did find the pace a little bit too quick early on in the race. However, I think Gavin Sheehan was quite smart. He just left into his business. He didn't try and get him out of his comfort zone. He just let him run his race, keep him within his comfort zone and his ability. And that was effectively then what enabled him to run on really nicely at the end and use that boot and that bit of stamina that he clearly holds. Now, the New Lion's going to be going to the Turners. The two options that we've considered for Wendigo going forward are going to be Up and Trip, of course. So the Albert Bartlett over 3 miles, where they'll be able to keep him within his pace range a little bit more mid-race, or the Sefton Grade 1 hurdle at Aintree the following month, which has obviously worked out really nicely too. Now, Jamie Snowden actually mentioned about Wendigo. The last horse that ran in the Challow hurdle and finished second off a mark of 127 was the Jukebox Man. Now, he, of course, went on to win the Courto Star. So there's a little bit of a bright future here with Wendigo, but the ride from Gavin Sheehan as a runner-up and not a winner of a race will seriously go underestimated. He was very smart to just let him go about his business and see what class he had. He clearly showed that he's got a lot of stamina, and he is a very, very good jumper of a fence, Wendigo. Now, one more thing to mention about him is he is by a sire called Great Pretender. Now, Great Pretender is a sire that's churning out really good horses at the moment. He had the likes of Putty Zig, Grenadine, Lossymouth, Benny Dujour, St. Lucci, who won obviously the Triumph Hurdle the other day as well for Rich Ritchie and Willie Mullins. And he's also had Wendigo. And look, it looks like he's certainly inherited plenty of his class. Just dead chuffed to see him run so well in a Grade 1, leaving Regent Stroll behind, Bill Joyce behind. And he was clear second best on the day. Now, the New Line was deeply impressive and obviously a very talented horse with more speed. But look, Wendigo has just gone and finished second at 25-1 for myself, the other owners, and for Racing Club. And if anyone does want to get involved, you can get a share for £60 and you can get £5 off using code RacingJoe5. Come and join the journey, get a share in the prize money, you get to meet us at the track, you get owners' badges, you get to visit the horses, all of the good stuff. And I tell you what, he's a little superstar who ran an absolutely huge race at 25-1. Now, the New Line was deeply impressive though, lads, wasn't he? Strong traveller, oozed class. Jamie, we'll go with you.
Yeah, he did, in fairness to him. Probably one of the most impressive winners I've seen in Shadow for a long time. But I'm sorry, there is that old nagging doubt about the Shadow. There is, but look, I think he's probably the strongest contender for a while. The other side of it, Regent Stroll, disappointed, really. He didn't look right in the race, to be honest with you, Joe. Maybe he's probably a step up on trip as well. Yeah. when they go, yeah, when they go, it looks nailed on for Sefton, really. And the way it ran and it stayed on, it was fair play. Like, it was great to see. So we'll see. But will I be back in the new line with all the stuff to come towards, like a Lawlers and the grade ones at Leopardstown to come? No. And they'll say, oh, to mind that Irish Petty for these Irish horses. No, I wouldn't. No.
He'd have more of a chance going to Aintree, wouldn't he? And on a flatter track and use that sort of speed.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Different test to Newbury, isn't it?
100%.
Scotty, what did you think? I mean, visuals were incredible, weren't they?
Yeah. Again with Jamie though, I just think it's a bit like, is it almost too good to be true?
Yeah, too short in the betting as well, isn't he? To be
Yeah,
fair.
I mean he's 4 to 1, or I think he's sorry 7 to 2 in some places. You're going to get bigger on the day because he's not running now until the festival, and all the horses at the DRF are going to come out winning, so they're all going to shorten naturally. So my advice would be to anyone that fancies him is just wait and hold your kind of powder until maybe closer to the week when the final decks come out. But I don't know. I just don't know if that form from the shallow is going to be massive in the long run. No disrespect to Wendigo. I think he ran an absolute cracker. I'd like to see him go to Albert Bartlett. That's where I'd be running him. I just think the way he ran on there towards the end, I think 3 miles would be really good for him. Um, I don't know about the new line, I've just got all these vibes about horses that win the race, like Brave Man's Game, Stage, Star, Captain Teague. They all look really good, and then they just don't perform at the festival. But I don't know. Maybe I'm in the same camp as you. I think Aintree's potentially a flatter track. Maybe I keep on saying about the Newburys, the Haydocks, the Aintrees, all these big long left-handed running tracks. Horses look visually impressive, and when they get to places like Cheltenham, they just seem to puke when they see the hill. I'm just hoping that he's not in the same kind of bracket because I'd love to see the UK have a winner, but I'm not massively sold when it comes to the turners, whether the track will suit him.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. I think that's a very valid assessment of the new line from both of you. Then I tend to agree as well. But look, it's nice to have another British contender for top race at Cheltenham. Moving on to Sunday, the 29th. Now, there's not a lot left to go through. Just again, we've just sort of logged on, hit record, and we're going through it as we find them. Now, of course, we had a duel between Stateman, Brighter Days Ahead in the Neville's Hotels Hurdle. God, this was just monstrous, wasn't it? And I got this. Well, I say I got this one right. Statement obviously didn't perform to his best, but I put up a big shout for her in our preview, and I said I just had a feeling that Bright Days Ahead was going to beat him again here, because when they obviously ran previously, she flattened 3 hurdles, fully flattened 3 hurdles, ran through another 3, and still managed to beat him. And obviously they were saying Statement wasn't fit. Fair enough, he probably wasn't. But if she jumped better, she'd have kicked home much earlier than what she did, and she'd have beat him anyway, in my opinion, on the penultimate start. They got tactics spot on here, didn't they? With King of Kingsfield going off in front, setting up nicely for her. And she jumped a lot better this time as well. So I think even if Stateman was nearer the pace, I don't think he was going to beat her anyway. It's possible that she's just got one of these sort of endless engines. And if it's the fact that she's learned how to jump all of a sudden, God, get her in the champion hurdle. This is what we want to see, don't we? Con Hill, Brighter Days Ahead, Lossymouth. But she's a stupendously good mare, isn't she? Brighter Days Ahead. Scotty, talk to me.
Yeah, I was getting excited thinking about it again. I was blown away, Joe, to be honest. Tactics or not, King of Kingsfield fell in a hole and she just kept going. That's just unbelievable performance. State Man was getting us in so many people crabbing the ride saying, how can you put him that far back against a mare that stays further, that's beaten previously? Maybe he was below his best, I don't know, but I was mighty, mighty impressed with her. And the only, I'm going to be honest, the only slight niggling doubt was when Apple's Jade used to boss all these races at
Yeah.
Leopardstown time after time. Then she goes to Cheltenham. I know she won a mare's hurdle, but she didn't perform at Cheltenham. I'm sorry, she didn't. She was never the same horse when she used to travel over there. And I watched back the mare's novice the other day, and she was so keen in that race, and she didn't jump at all. And I'm willing to forgive it now because I think she's got better and better, and she's massively improved. If she doesn't go to champion hurdle, it'll be a travesty. I think she has to go in this race. But knowing the O'Learys and Jigginstown, they'll want just a winner, a grade one on the boards. They're probably going to go for the mare's hurdle. But for me, if she was mine, and I'd be throwing her in a champion hurdle, and I think she'd be the better in the race.
Yeah, I agree, Scott. Honestly, I'm a big fan of her, and I haven't been before. It is possible, like you said, that she may not be ideally suited to Cheltenham, but send her off in front, let her kick on and use that stamina early and say, catch me if you can. And it will certainly put a bit of pressure on Con Hill, won't it, too?
It will test him. It will test. You know how to beat State Man now. The lossy mouth, I wouldn't worry about her. I'd
I
be
agree.
pretty sure Bright as Days Ahead would be beating Lossy Mouth over 2 miles. The only horse to beat is Cornhill. And like you say, I think put the pressure on him early, get him out of his comfort zone. And if there is still something there under the bonnet not quite right, it will be exposed quickly in that race. He'll be a bit like when Shishkin was in the champion chase. He didn't go on the ground and he was beaten so early in that race. How many times do you see horses that are just not quite right and they just seem to regress slowly? It's something similar where like an Ergumen employed those tactics and he once he took up, no, it wasn't an argument, it was another horse that made the running, but they get found out eventually. And I think if she presses the button from the front, if they ride her correctly, I don't think they can beat her in that race.
That's exactly it, isn't it? Then we will find out whether Con Hill is back at Cheltenham if they put Brighter Days Ahead up against her as well. Jamie, Supermare, isn't she? Brighter Days Ahead. Big, beautiful, strong traveling, massive engine.
Really good, isn't she?
Yeah,
Or
lovely.
class horse. She's a class horse. Um, she needs the pace though, Joe. And I think this is the only way they have a chance to beat in Constitution Hill, to be honest with you. Pace, pace, keep going, 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 going. I think because I remember the start of the season we were on about with Down Ride when she won, and Sam
Yeah,
Ewing like was at pains to get her to the front because they weren't going quick enough for her. Yeah, she's really good, and it's the jumping. She's just better going left-handed, and she's just jumped way better. I think when she has no time to think about something, she'll just jump quicker and better. Whereas they go slow last year, and especially that Mayor's Novice, because she was like Jack Kennedy was more afraid of Jade de Grouge. She didn't go to this. Got the tactics wrong big time there, but and then she didn't jump well enough. I think you give her no time to think, and then she'll just jump like a good thing.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
really good, and hopefully the three of them turn up in the champion hurdle.
Definitely,
That was it.
definitely. And people forget she was a novice last year. She was in their novices. They there to improve. That's why we got a novice division. Teach them a little bit of experience and go from there, really. Right then, I think, lads, that pretty much wraps up the Christmas racing. In fact, we had St. Lucie, didn't we, actually, at Punchestown?
Yep.
Just skipping forward again. Anyone watching, we've literally just pressed play, press record, and we've gone from there. Yeah, look, she ran out an 11 at length winner. Again, this is one of these great pretenders who has also produced Lossiemouth and Benedict Jur for the same owner and trainer combination. Jamie, going to stick with you. She looked mightily impressive. Bit too big on the market for the Triumph, if I must say, at a double figure price still.
Yeah, she's really good, Joe. I really liked her. She jumps really well. And I
Hmm.
saw there decided to, like the camera was away from her. I think it's at the second and last when they let Paul Town and give her a little bit of inch of rain before her. She shot off. Do you know what I mean? And she jumped it lovely. Oh yeah. Um,
How they keep finding these mares, like it's
how they keep
unbelievable.
finding.
She
Yeah,
didn't even win in France. She finished third, like, you know?
yeah. Getting back to anything other like of the Christmas period, I
Yeah.
thought the best day of racing was the actual last day. Very, very informative day, I thought,
Okay.
especially going forward. Um, Especially with the first race, the Neighbour winning. Uh, Gavin Cromwell is very, very like has knows what it's like to win races at Cheltenham, and it doesn't matter. And I thought the second horse in that was if it was 3 miles, it had beaten the Enabler. I am Lorenzo.
That's it. Yeah.
Uh, he's one to keep an eye out for an Arbor Bartlett 100%, and he seems to be improving race by race. Um, July Flower, obviously, like had massive form in France.
Grade
Uh,
one for.
Grade one form. I mean, like if you have a Noah Lassie out, no Brighter Days Ahead in the mares, I'd be might
Could be
pick
a
them.
bet. Could be a
Could be a
bet.
bet. The sequestered broke my heart. I don't know why I didn't pick that horse. Brighter. 305 is very interesting. I mean, like if he got that back against Peter Smithers, Parker Kings would have beaten El Gasparo. But obviously,
Yeah.
your horse Maxim is in it. I back Comfort Zone and it was third. These are all going to run in the, I used to call it the William Fry handicap hurdle over 3 miles at the Dublin Race Festival. be honest with you, it's Park of Kings versus Maxim again, I think, anyway. So it's
Yeah,
either or will win that race at the Dublin Racing Festival. Because I think Park of Kings had loads left. You see how it travelled and everything. It just didn't
yes,
get up. So it's Park of Kings versus Maxim in that race for me, anyway, 100%. If
yeah.
they turn up.
I saw a couple of people mention it as well, actually, just scrolling through Twitter. I did actually go and have a look, and it did make sense. Again, now you've said it as well, Jamie. It just alludes a bit more confidence behind him as well.
And in the bumper, a horse
Yes,
called Carrickmore the Spruce.
of course. Oh, you're going to tell us about Amen Kate as well now, aren't you?
100%. Now, if you want a horse to beat Future Prospect, go back and watch the stool and how far Amen Kate destroyed Carrickmore the Spruce. And Carrickmore the Spruce has come out 1-2 bumpers. Future Prospect or no Future Prospect. At least we have a horse that will go up against Future Prospect. Uh, I will be delighted. He was trained only literally 5 minutes from my house,
Going to say, yeah.
up
So
the
it's good.
road, Tommy Cooper. I'd be great to see him have a great horse before, like total enjoyment for Paddy DePlaster or his two Cheltenham Festival winners. He's come back years ago.
Who was the other
It'd be
one? It
great,
was the Paddy de Plaster. Who was the other one again?
total enjoyment.
Don't enjoy it. That's the one, yeah, with the bumper.
It'd be great to see him have a horse again, and hopefully she will give Future Prospect a race, and you get a better price now.
We're actually having a match bet on this one, but we'll do it on the day because we're both staying that extra night as well at the DRF. We'll have that one there. Cool. Any others? What was the best performance of it then for you, James? The most
the
impressive?
whole of for the whole of Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, Coke picked the board.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, fair enough. You must have been impressed considering the jumping wasn't ideal as well. It must have caught your eye big time. Scotty, bit of a rant from you. Who disappointed you? Who was a good performance? What did you enjoy?
I enjoyed the Constitution Hill race. I was looking forward to that the most. I was glad he came back and won. Spoke about the race, so I won't go into that more. So I was happy for him. I was very happy to see Embassy Gardens win on
Yeah, of course.
New Year's Day. I've been living by the sword and dying by the sword for over 2 years with that horse now. So
Right,
it was.
Ryanair. Sorry, cut across you. Ryanair, Scotty.
I had a look at the prices before, funny enough, Jamie, from the front. I don't think it's the worst thing. I think they've been riding him and putting him in his stayers races. He showed a lot of speed at
Mhm.
Tremor. I was mega impressed. So I don't think he's the worst shout in the world, but he probably just lacks class. But it's a very winnable race this year. So I was happy to see him win. The other horse I was very happy to see win was the Big Westerner. I was with you guys. I do like her. And Bioluminescence, yeah, I've taken the 12s for the Mayor's Chase.
Uh,
I'm very much in Camp Ginger this year. I don't know, following on Oddschecker, all the tips, like and subscribe and all that stuff. But no, the one race that really filled my kind of heart in a way was seeing Chantry House win on New Year's Day at Cheltenham. I didn't have any bet in the race. I was just very happy to see him win. I'm happy for the yard. Henderson said after the race he thought there was no way that he would have a chance of winning. He was really shocked by it, but no, that was good to see. I've always slated him in the past, saying he was a lucky horse to when his Grade 1 when Envoy Allen fell, and when he was going to get beat at Aintree when the Kim Bailey horse fell upsides. But that was nice to see. But I'm going to quickly mention, if it's all right, I've got Highland that we've obviously mentioned from the Quarto Star, finishing second to the Jukebox Man. I've already put him up on the show at 20s for the Ultima. I've actually backed him at non-run and no bet already. Um, but I mentioned the Tingle Creek, how I put a line through the Solness form, but there's a horse that ran in that race that no one spoke about how good the form is now behind John Bond, and that was Soul Icon who won the Desert Orchid,
yeah.
and he won it really, really well. So again, all the boxes are ticking for John Bond's form lines there. He was well beaten. I think he was 4 for 4. And again, going back to that race, no one is talking about how Lotus Sud battered Soul Icon in that race in the
Oh,
Henry VIII. I know Sir Gino and Majborough are big talking horses for the Arkle. I think Lotus Sud is starting to not get the credit he deserves. I don't think he'd a forlorn hope in the Arkle. So again, I think it's an interesting piece of form to take out from the whole of Christmas.
fair play to you, Scotty. Fair play. Go on, James.
Uh, didn't a skeleton horse beat him at Wincanton called Boom Bon?
He did.
Hmm.
You just have to remind me of something else, Scotty.
And I think Boom Bourne was beaten by the
Answer.
Jukebox Man and the John Frankham up at Newbury.
Oh,
So all the forms starting to tie in
There
together
you
with
go.
novice foot, all of the English novice chase form are starting to tie in. It's starting to work out now.
Handstands was in that race, wasn't he? With the Soul Icon and Boom
That's what I
Bond.
said. Yeah.
Handstands, and I just said to Joe before we came on air today, Ben Pauling today has said that handstands is not going to run at
Warwick,
the
yeah.
he's
Warwick.
going to send the jukebox man, and handstands is going to run at Warwick in a few weeks' time, and he will then go to the Scilly Isles.
Yeah, interesting.
And Aintree, I think it's the Mile May, I think the 2.5 is the Mile May. That's his main aim for the season.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that shot. That's a soul icon. Go on, James. You gonna say something?
What I mentioned before you go, Joe, the one I suppose my biggest disappointment of Christmas, you know the horse I'm going to say. I was deflated after Keita Bourbon's race, to
Oh
be honest
yeah,
with you. Yeah, I was really
definitely.
deflated. Look, I won't give up on him. Put it that way, Joe. Well, if you can't beat the capo out of Gordon Elliott's for speed up to him, no matter I mean, like you're in trouble. You're in massive trouble. Now, if he's under the 145 bracket, he'll have to go for a national hunt chase.
Sure.
Uh, which I don't. But look, I think I'll get weight. He's probably one alright for the 10 up novice chase at Navan in mid February. American Mike won that last year. Um, yeah, I won't give up on him. I'll wait till he runs again, but I was very disappointed.
Yeah. Okay, James. Lovely job. I'll just give a quick run through my sort of ones I liked and ones I didn't like. And in fact, there wasn't really many I didn't enjoy. But one I will say, I think personally, I know Gaelic Warrior was on good ground. I believe he has just been found out in the division. I think that form from the Arkle last year, he was given the race by Elite Tomp and found a 50 in behind him. I don't think there was much opposition. I think it could look like he was much better than what he was. Happy to be proven wrong by all means, but got a feeling he isn't what everyone seems to think he is. And he's obviously still got to go left-handed again. It's no forlorn given that he is going to be handling the champion chase pace. But that's
That's another bottle of vodka to Jamie.
we're going by the half bottle. We've got a lot of match bets going on.
Can I
Go on.
quickly jump in on your point there with the
Yeah,
Arkle form?
over
I
it.
was I was doing my long-term target planning. I think the horses that finished back in that Arkle are the horses to look forward to for the rest of the
Yeah,
season. I think the JPR ones, the Matatas, and Master Chewy. I think Master Chewy is a prime horse for the Red Rum Chase at Aintree over 2 miles, the handicap. I'd be keen on him for that, and Matata for the Scottish Champion Chase later in the season, the 2 mile one. That's what I just thought I'd throw that in there.
got his long-term anti-post bets are awesome as well. We've already had like the likes of JPR1 and Jello and all sorts. But again, that was just my sort of one that opened me up. Gaelic War, I think, got found out, and I think Factor File, I said, I'm pretty sure he's going to go to the Roy now. I'm happy to put my money where my mouth is there too. Romeo Coolio, dead impressed for KTDA racing. I really like that performance, and it was great to see him put his name back in the hat for the Supreme. I think he's has to be in the top one or two now for me going forward. The Big Westerner, I'm obsessed with this mare. She's lovely. Love the way she travelled. Slick jumper as well for a stayer. Quick away from her hurdles and found a turn of foot. Ticks all the boxes. Going with all of the mares here. Bioluminescence. This is at the moment, my best bet for Cheltenham. I'm convinced that she's going to win the mare's chase. I don't see anything else. Brighter Days Ahead, another mare. Loved that performance there. I think she's improving run for run. Just like horses that improve for the experience. Um, Great to see Wendigo run well, and great to see Barry have a winner as well, Venice Kerry at Leopardstown. So thoroughly enjoyable Christmas period of racing. 4 weeks to the DRF, 9, 10 weeks now to the Cheltenham Festival. So action's coming thick and
67
fast.
days, 20 hours, 2 minutes.
There we go then. So Jamie to the point exactly. Okay, we've got loads of guests coming up as well. We've got a few penciled in. I think we're going to have the Tap Boys on again at some point. Take a pull. We'll have Deck and Andy on. We're going to get Bo from Rain It In, possibly Craig too if he's available. Hopefully we've got some very special guests as well coming up in February. Is there anyone you'd like to see come on the channel? Please do drop us a comment. And please do anyway, just keep interacting with us. We really are enjoying it. You can see we all do come back to the comments. We can take the criticism as well, so bring it on. We love a bit of back and forth. It's all part of the game. Nothing gets taken to heart here at the Ginger Joe Racing Show. And one more thing to mention is Again, if there's an offer for you if you want to join Oddschecker using the link in the description below, you get 20% off using code GJOE20. Anything else, fellas? Or we pretty much got it covered there? It was a bit of a rant today, just an open discussion.
No, I'm good.
No, okay. Well, we've got our Lawless of Nace preview out for this weekend too. You can watch that obviously on the channel. Thank you very much, as ever, to my wingmen, Scotty and Jamie. As I always say, but I genuinely mean it, it wouldn't be the same without these fellas. I couldn't do it. I couldn't just sit here and talk on my own. Not only are they really good partners for the podcast, but very good friends too. And thank you everyone for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. If you can click subscribe to this channel, it's completely free to do so. It just shows a big support to us. Click the thumbs up if you're feeling a bit fruity as well, just to add a little bit more to the show. And any feedback is always welcome. Anything to add, lads?
Oh, roll on, Cheltenham.
Roll on Cheltenham, Scotty.
Yep. Roll on Cheltenham as well.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you all real soon.